Okay, now it's recording. So everybody sees the lecture notes in the canvas, right? Okay, great. So let's get started. So this is the lecture notes we are going to do today. Today we're learning the use and abuse of percentages. So this is just a funny way to say the topic. What he really means just how to use percentages. We're not learning anything abuse. Okay. First, everything begins with a definition. Percent. This word literally means divide by 100. Okay, so 17% means 17 over 100. Approximately 50% of our students are males. It means for every 100 students, we have 50 males. Okay, just an additional example, or 50 females. Okay, so does anyone has any question about this notation just means this? So if we have the percent, how to convert from percent to fraction to decimal to and backwards? So here is a easy way to do that. From percentage to a fraction is easy. If you see 2%, recall that percent just mean divide by 100. So just 2 divided by 100. In other words, you just replace the percentage symbol with a division by 100. Okay, so here's 17% is just 17 divided by 100. Similarly, how to convert from percent to decimal? Notice that if you have 2%, it is 2 over 100 already. So 2 divided by 100, since we have 2 zeros here, we drop the percentage symbol divided by 100. In other words, it's moving the decimal 2 places to the left. Move the decimal 2 places to the left. So originally, if you see 2, you should remind yourself the percentage, the decimal dot is behind the 2, okay? If it is divided by 100, you see 100 is have 1 0, second 0. So if this dot here move to here, not enough, move to here, so that it would become 0.02. Okay, so originally the decimal point is here, but after divide by 100, we move 1 unit, 2 unit. Then we get 0.02. That's the idea. Anyone has any question? Okay, let's continue. Convert from a decimal to a percentage. This is a decimal. Let's say you have 0.12. How would we convert to 12%? Notice that the decimal point is here. So 0.12, if you multiply it by 100, then divide by 100 is still itself, right? So you can do such a manipulation. So 0.12 times 100 is 12 times 1 over 100, which give you 12 over 100. Okay? And recall that percent is just divided by 100. So 1 over 100 is just percent. So it's 12%. That's it. The trick is that multiply by 100, divide by 100. The last divided by 100, we don't need to run it to do the division. Instead, we just use the English word percent to represent it. Okay, anyone has any question? Okay, so assume you do not have a question. Let's continue. Convert from a fraction to a percentage. So if you have this fraction, 13 over 100, we try to separate 1 over 100 outside. Okay, so the way you can do this is 13 times 1 over 100. And every time you see this guy, it's just percent. So it's 13%. Just replace this guy with the English word percent. That's it. So no sophisticated technology here. Okay, anyone has any question? Signs are easy. So instead of me going through every question, I think I explained all the major idea, how to do this kind of percent stuff here already. So I think I can give you, let's say, 4 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes to work out. Yeah, feel free to use a calculator. 4 minutes to work out the example 1 by yourself. Try to use those rules to work out the two questions. They should be very similar, but the only difference is that here you need to use a calculator. And it's not a very difficult either. Okay. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay, let's back together. So can anyone tell me how to do this one?
For fraction, it would be 30 over 100, but when reduced, that goes to 3/10. And then as a decimal, it would be 0.3. And then as a percentage, it's just 30%.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, all right, thank you so much. So let me elaborate a little bit. So this is already 30%. Okay, so percent is equivalent with 1 over 100. So this is 30 times 1 over 100, which is 30 over 100. But here we want a reduced fraction, which means we can cancel all the things unnecessary. So 30, 0 is 3 times 10. 100 is 10 times 10. So together 10 cancel with 10, you got a 3 over 10. That's it. As a decimal, notice that 3 divided by 10. So originally, this is 3.0, right? 3.0. But divided by 10, you have to move the decimal point 1 unit to the left. So this becomes 0.3. The decimal point goes ahead of the 3. And in order to make it complete, you have to add a 0. That's it. Does anyone have any question? Okay. You guys are so shy. But don't worry. At the beginning of the semester, we're not familiar with each other. And I understand you can be very shy in my class. If you want to say anything, feel free to say, okay? Let's look at the question B. We already have a reduced fraction, 508. We want to express it as a decimal. The way you do that, you plug into a calculator. Can anyone tell me what is a decimal?
0.625.
625, thank you, exactly. Okay, now you see this guy, 0.625. Here it becomes a little bit tricky. So notice the decimal point is here. We want to make it a percentage. So we want to move 2 units to this side. Okay, 2 units to this side. So you have 62.5 and write percent here. Does anyone has any question how I get from here to here? Okay, I think there must be somebody who is shy. So this guy is 60 point. Let me elaborate a little bit. Times 1 over 100. So that's why we write 62.5% here. Okay, any question? Okay, let's continue to example 2. In the following statements, express the first number as a percentage of the second number. As a percentage of the second number. What does that mean? So it means you should use the first number divided by the second number. And I tell you, there's a typo here in the question A. Okay, so can anyone point out what is the typo in the question A? I give you a hint. It does not affect our result, but it's really a typo. Okay. Think about the typo. Feel free to let me know. And I'll show you the typo in a minute. Okay, anyone found the typo already? Okay, let me show you right now what's on my screen. So the question says that Apple, such a huge company, is only making $235 million in the year 2020. This is a huge typo. As you can Google, everybody can Google, Apple revenue 2020 is 274 billion, okay? Billion, not million. That's a huge difference. So let's go back to the question. Okay, assume this is true, okay? We know it's true. It's ridiculously low. Let's find the ratio first. So Apple's revenue divided by Walmart revenue is 235, meaning 485, meaning, okay. So that's the ratio between Apple's revenue and Walmart's revenue. Since they have the same unit, the unit can cancel. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 8, 5. Huh. Can anyone do me a favor, plug this into the calculator to see what is a decimal? And if you're
0.484.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
0.4845.
0.4845.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great. So, but the question wanted us to express the first number as a percentage. Percentage. So we need to move the decimal 2 places to the right. Here. So we should give you 48.45%. That's it. Anybody has any question? Let's continue. California, the largest state in terms of population in the US, attracts so many people. So in the year 2019, it has a population 39.1 million people. But 10 years ago, it has only 33.9 million people. So you can see the population of California is really increasing very fast. By the way, have you guys heard of the song California Hotel? Say yes or no. California Hotel. Very famous.
Yeah. Yes.
Very good. Do you guys remember there's a lyric there's a sentence in the lyric which is said, once you come, you never want to leave. Do you guys there's such a sentence in the lyrics?
Yeah.
Great. So people are attracted to California because of the weather and the beach. And they never want to leave. Then the population grew from 33 million to 39 million in just 10 years. However, we want to express the first number as a percentage of the second number. So again, first number divided by, make sure you include the units since we eventually want to cancel the units. Sometimes they use different units and make sure they goes to the same units so that they would be canceled without any mistake. So once you have such a fraction, meaning cancel with meaning. Can anyone do me a favor? Plug this into a calculator. Do me a favor, please.
1.15.
1.15. Thank you. However, we want to express this into percentage. So we move the decimal 2 places to here, which give you 115 percentage. Okay. Anyone has any question? That means easy. Now, again, we have two numbers. We want to discuss what is the absolute change and the relative change. Absolute change describes the actual increase or decrease from a reference value to a new value. So here's absolute change. It equals to the new value minus the reference value, or sometimes it is just the old value. Okay, also called as old value. Let's just use folk language. The relative change is the size of absolute change in comparison to the reference value. Okay, so in other words, relative change is just absolute change divided by the reference value. Okay. And we can express it as a percentage. So any question about the definition? So let's look at example 3 first. And after we do example 3, I will ask you guys to do example 4 by yourself. The US per capita consumption of beef decreased from 67.8 pounds in 2000 to 55.4 pounds in 2020. Describe this change in absolute and relative terms. Okay, so before we solve this question, we should be clear with every concepts here. First of all, what is a new value?
£55.4 pounds.
Very good. What is the reference value?
67.8.
Thank you. Okay, so we have all the information we need. We can calculate the absolute change. We can also calculate the relative change. So the absolute change equals to new value subtracted by the reference value, which is 54.5 pound, subtracted by 67.8 pound. Huh. What is the value here? Can anyone tell me?
Negative 12.4.
Thank you very much. Relative change. The new value of the absolute change divided by the reference. Okay. Negative 12.4 divided by the reference, which is 7.48. Again, I need somebody do a calculator for me. Do a calculation for me.
0.18.
Can you repeat?
0.18.
Very good. 0.1. Is there any decimals behind the 8?
Yes, it's
What is the value here? Hello?
2.8.
2.8.
Yes.
Okay, we can, since 2.8, this is smaller than 5, we just omit it, okay? Let's just omit it. Since if it is 5, we can round it. If it is less than 5, we do not need to round it. So let's say just keep it as here. Okay, so now we want to express it as a percentage. We move the decimal point 2 units to the right, here or here. So it's 12.8%.
Is it negative or positive?
Yeah, thank you. Negative sign, get. Thank you very much. I really like those outspoken people. Okay, any question about this one? Okay, so now I think I should give you 3 minutes to work on the example 4. Okay, 3 minutes to work on example 4. Okay, 3 minutes is over. Can anyone express his or her thoughts on this question?
The what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The thoughts. How would you approach this question?
So first we find the new value and the reference value. And for this question, the new value is 78.8
Right?
minus the reference value is 47.3.
Great. I use YRS to in short for the years, okay? So what is a absolute change?
31.5.
Great. What is a relative change?
0.6659.
Very good. Divided by the reference value, which is 0.6
6659.
665.
9.
9, great. And we need to move the decimal 2 places and add a percent at the beginning. So move here, here, okay? So 66.59%. Or you can write 6659%. That's it. Anyone has any question? Okay. Okay, let me make a claim. We are learning absolute and relative difference. This is almost the same idea with absolute and relative change. Almost the same idea. The only issue is that this wording is so much more verbose. He just means this guy is just new value. Everything is the same. Reference value is still reference value. Absolute change is just absolute difference. Okay, just use a different word, but they are talking exactly the same thing. Okay, so you see how verbose are those textbooks. Okay, so let's do not be so verbose. Let's do some real questions. Okay, so I think I can give you, let's say, 3 minutes to work on it. 3 minutes to work on example 5. Everything's still the same, okay? Just word is different. Okay, so can anyone give me some hints how to do this question? I need a brave man or brave woman to help me on this one. Who can help me on this?
I'm not sure if I'm right, the compared value and reference, but I got for the compared value 4 minus 3.20, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
$4 minus $3.20.
good. I think you are all right. So comparative value, remember, is just our new value. Since we are in Colorado, this value is our old value. It's our reference value. We're familiar with this. We want to compare with Alaska. Oh, by the way, we have some students in Alaska, right? So let's say the majority of our students in the class are still living in Colorado, okay? So we choose Colorado as our reference value. Our comparative value is the value in Alaska. So it's $4. Reference value is a price in Colorado, which is 3.2. So find the both and relative difference for the cost of gas lines in the Colorado and Alaska. So let's first, again, absolute difference, easy, comparative value minus, so $0.8. Relative difference equals to the absolute difference, $0.8 divided by the reference value, which is $3.2, which is
0.25.
very good, or 25%. That's it. Anyone has any question?
If you use the other way around, how would you know which is the compared and reference?
Okay, very good question. This is just because we are in Colorado. Most of us are in Colorado. So we choose our Colorado as our reference since we are most familiar with the price in Colorado. So we use Colorado's price as a reference value, just like a thing which we know very well. So we use it as a reference to compare with other states. This is purely English understanding. Maybe you have a better understanding than I do. Yeah, the comparative value, so you pick a new state, in this case is Alaska. We are not familiar with Alaska. So Alaska is being compared. This is purely English, okay? It's being compared with Colorado. Okay, so this is a comparative value. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me write something down. You actually asked me a very good question. When I was preparing to teach today's class, I was also thinking about this question. Which one is a reference? Which one is the compared value? Okay, the value you most familiar with. Okay, so let's just write down our English understanding. Compared value, the value you are less familiar with. W slash is with in my shorthand notation. Okay. Okay. Does anyone has more question on this one? Okay, so let's continue the next topic. Off versus more than. Again, this is kind of English class. So it's very funny that we have a foreigner teaching you something about the English understanding of the two words in the mathematical context. If the new or the compared value is p% more than the reference value, then it is 100 plus p% of the reference value. Okay, so let's say I have $150. You only have $100. Okay, so I am 50% richer than you. Or in other words, I'm just 1.5, 100 times 50% of you. Okay, you are most familiar with yourself. You are the reference value. Oh, sorry, I should not say you are not familiar with yourself. It just, let's choose you to be a reference value. So I am 50% richer than you, or I'm 150% of you. Okay, so this is a context. Anyone has any question about understanding of this sentence? Similarly, if we are p% less, we're just 100% minus p% of the reference value. Okay, so those are all depends on the p. If p is positive, you plus this p. If p is negative, you minus this p. So let's see a detailed example. The area of Norway is 25% more than the area of Colorado. So Norway's area is how much of Colorado area? So this is our p%. So Norway's area is 100 plus p, which is 100 plus 25. So 125% of Colorado's area. Okay. I give you 90 seconds to think about example 7, and feel free to ask me any question. Okay, almost the same process. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay. Can anybody share his opinion on this one? His or her opinion on this one?
I got 80%.
Very good. How do you get 80%?
I subtract 20 from 100 minus 20, so 80.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear very clearly. Can you speak again?
100 minus 20, it's
Okay, very good. You get it. So 100 minus P%, which is 80%. That's it. Do not overthink about it. Just that easy. Anyone has any question on this one? So it seems that we can finish our class a little bit earlier. Let's keep working. So solving the percentage problem, final value is 100p of the original value. I don't know what he's talking about. So let's look at an example. A pair of shoes have the original price of 120. By the way, let's do a fun statistic survey. So type in how much is the shoes on your feet right now, since we have plenty of time in the class. Just if you feel comfortable typing in the price in the chart, let's just see. So my shoes is $70. Okay. If you feel comfortable, feel free to type in what's your price. I wonder what is the most common shoes price in our class. Okay, Lucy, if you're wearing socks, just type a price of the shoes which if you go outside you would wear. Okay, 60, 60, 40. Okay, anyone want to give any more input? Okay, so I think most people have typed in their price already. So look at those numbers. What is the smallest number we have? $40, right? What is the highest number we have? We have $90 at the highest. So what does this tell us? Most shoes price are between 40 and 90. Most of them are like 60, 70. Okay, so, but this person wearing a pair of shoes of 120, so this must be a rich person or a person who is not rich, but just spending too much money on the shoes. Okay, let's go back to this question. A person, write something funny. Who spent, you do not take notes, okay, I'm just joking. Too much on shoes. So his or her shoes is $120, very expensive. If the shoes are marked with 25% sale, what is the sales price of these shoes? So now we go back to see the formula. Final value is 100 times P original value. P is here. So we have all the information we need times 100%. times 120. So final price. So if we multiply this, oh, I think there's a typo issue here. There should be a minus sign here. There should, just let you aware, there should be a minus sign here. Okay. So a 25% sale, which means you subtract the original value by 25%. So original price is 100% minus 25%. Again, let me announce this again. There is a minus sign here between 100 and P. If we mark a price off, we are reducing the price. We are subtracting a number. Okay, so 75% times 120. This gives you 75% is 3/4, 120, so give you $90. Okay, anyone has any question on this one?
How do you get 3 divided by 4?
Okay, so thank you for asking this question. I just did this question so many times. So 75 over 100, okay? We want to simplify this fraction. So 75 is 3 times 25, right? Do you agree? 100 is 4 times 25. Do you agree? So 25 cancel with 25. You have 3 over 4. Okay. Anyone has any question? Huh. Let me explain this again. In this case, we are marked down 25%. We're marked down. So we are reducing the price. That's why we subtract this percentage here. Okay. That's why we subtract this percentage here. However, look at example 9. When you purchase a new TV at Costco, you paid $958 in total. This final price includes a 6.7 sales tax. So this case is different. You are adding a tax to the original price. You are adding an extra amount. So let's say the original price, original cost, a pre-tax cost. I use hyphen to connect the two words. Okay, this uses the same word times. This time you are adding a new sales tax. So 1 plus 6 point. Actually, I should write 100. Or let's just write 1. Adding this give you are eventually charged with $958, which is paid money. Okay. So pre-tax cost times 1, which is self, and you are also adding the tax, which is 6.7%. Eventually, you get 958. So in this case, we are subtracting, but in this case, we are adding. Okay. Does anyone has any question why we are adding or subtracting? It all depends on the context. Anyone has any concerns on that? Okay, so let's figure out what is the pre-tax cost. First, we should convert this percentage in the decimal so that this one can add with it. So pre-tax cost 1 plus 0.
Sorry, but I can't see what you're writing. Could you write it?
So now you can see. Okay, 6 point percentage. Remember, percentage is 1 over 100. So you should move this decimal place 2 units to the left. So 0.067958. Okay. Do you guys have any question how I get it from here to here? Okay, assume you do not have any question. So once we finish the addition, we get times 1.067 equals 958. Okay. Anyone has any question how I get from here to here? I just added the two numbers. Then you divide both sides with this number, 1.067. Okay. I need somebody to do me a favor. Calculator time.
897.84.
897.8. What is the next?
4.
Okay, let's just round to the 2 decimals. Correct, you get it. Anyone has any question on this? Okay, no question. So let's continue to our last example today. Percentage points versus percentage. Again, a very verbose statement. Let's see what is the percentage points. When you see a change or difference expressed in percentage points, you can assume it's absolute change or difference. What is that? Still need a bit feel confused. If it is expressed with a percentage sign or the word percent, it should be a relative change or difference. What is he talking about? So do anyone have any idea what he's talking about? Try to understand what he's talking.
Are you asking what a furlough is?
What is this statement is about? The difference, percentage points, and the word percent.
I'm sorry, can you ask it one more time?
Yes. So what is he trying to say about percentage points here? So here he said percentage points, and he also want to say something about a percent. So what is he trying to tell us here?
Maybe if the question doesn't have a percent sign, we can assume that's absolute change. But if it has a sign, a percent sign, we can assume it's relative change.
Very good. You get the idea. So the only thing we need to pay attention is, do we have a percentage sign? If we have, then it's a relative change. If we do not have, it's an absolute change. Okay. And recall, what is the absolute change? Absolute change is just the difference between the two values. Relative change, you have to divide, go one step further, divided by the reference value. Okay. So just pay attention. Do we have a percentage sign? Okay, let me make a small mark. No percentage sign has percentage sign. Just that easy, okay? Do not overthink about what he's trying to say. Okay, anyone has any question about this statement before we continue to the example 10? Okay, so let's continue to example 10. During the pandemic, your company mandates a 10% for employees, with a promise to increase every day's pay by 10% at the end of the year. Is the claim that this will bring their pay back to the original amount true? So I'll give you a minute to think about it, then we'll come back together. Actually, I'll give you, let's say, 2 minutes to work on it. Give you 2 minutes to work on it. Feel free to ask me any question. Okay, So does anyone have any opinions to share? Hey, Frank, I haven't heard it from you for a long time.
Hello.
Yes. Can you please guide me through this question? Hello, Frank. Are you there? Okay, so I have difficulty hearing you. So anyone want to help me on this question? Okay, let's just take it easy. At the beginning, your salary is this amount. You don't know how much it is. Okay. Then the pandemic comes. The company cut 10% of your salary. So now you are multiplying 1 minus 10%, which is you're only taking 90% of your original salary. Okay. Then the company says that they will also increase 10%. So this is pandemic salary. After the 10% increase, let's say you have a new salary. New salary equal to pandemic salary times 1 plus 10%, since you are increasing 10%. So this is your new salary. So what we need to do, we need to compare the new salary with the original salary to see which one is higher. Are they equal or not? So pandemic salary, we already know is 90% of the original salary. So this original times 90%. Now you also times 110%. In other words, your original times 0.9 times 1.1. So first, ignore what I'm writing here. This is for the other funny question I was trying to say. So can anyone do me a favor to figure out what is this? 0.9 times 1.1.
0.99.
Very good. Oh. %99. So look at the equation here. Your new salary is 99% of the original salary. So are they the same? Obviously they're not. Your new salary is 1% less than the original one. Okay. So this will not bring your salary to the original amount. Okay. So anyone has any question on this one? Okay. So stay here if you have any question. Otherwise, feel free to go. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You have a good one.
You too.
I was wondering, are you gonna put grades in Canvas?
Yes. So you know our grades have multiple parts. So right now we are only doing the homework and the discussion. So the homework, the grades is recorded in the MyMathLab. The discussion is, I starting from the previous week, I start to try to make the discussion a graded assignment. So that score will appear in the Canvas directly. So I'm thinking whether, since the Canvas is disconnected with the MyMathLab, so I'm thinking if I update the MyMathLab every week, I'm not sure how much work is that. Just copying everybody's score, uploaded there. So I'm thinking that right now I have not decided to make a overall grade with the homework and the discussion. I think you can check the grades on the both parts, Canvas and the MyMathLab. At the end of the semester, I combine those two.
Okay.
Sachivala, do you have any kind of immediate need to know your grade?
No, I was just wondering.
Oh yeah, so just put it in a simple way. So updating the grades from the MyMathLab is too much work. I've not decided to do it weekly yet.
Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you for asking. Hey Joshua, is there anything